officers caught to a vehicle at speeds of 125 miles per hour.
Mr. Gary, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir. Please don't say anything.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. On May 27th, 2024, officers caught to a vehicle at speeds of 125 miles per hour.
125?
And the vehicle was still creating distance between the officer and the patrol car. It was very traffic. It was heavy traffic at the time in Harris County. While trying to close the gap between the patrol car and the speeding vehicle, the officer observed the vehicle change lanes in an unsafe manner several times, causing other vehicles to slam on their brakes, avoid striking the speeding vehicle, and the vehicle also did not signal its lane changes. Officers were able to catch up with the vehicle after maxing out the patrol car at its top speed of 135 miles per hour. The vehicle immediately took the exit for Air Tax Road and pulled into a Stripes gas station parking lot.
This is the judge's wake-up call moment. She's painting a vivid picture of what could have happened, and she's not exaggerating. One wrong move at 135 miles per hour. It's not jail time you need to worry about. It's a funeral.
Identified as the driver.
What kind of car was he driving?
Truck. A pickup truck, Your Honor. A silver 2009 Chevy Silverado.
I'm going to find probable cause, Mr. Garrett. Do you realize that it's high up. One false move, boom, 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 ejected from the car, crack your cranium, dead. I'm now taking away your privilege to drive, sir. You're not allowed to drive at all. You're going to sign with me today an affidavit promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. If you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. Oh, no. If I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. You roll your eyes like that again, I'll hold you in contempt. It shows a complete lack of respect. All I want is...
Okay, pause. 125 miles per hour. That's not just speeding. That's a one-way ticket to jail in most jurisdictions. And in heavy traffic, that's borderline suicidal. The judge isn't going to go easy.
Public safety. That's all I care about. Every single day, someone dies on the road in Harris County because of some boneheaded move. Not here, not today, not anymore. You understand?
It's a one-way ticket to jail in most jurisdictions. And in heavy traffic.
If you drove here, you may not drive home. Do you understand?
How do I get to work? I don't go to work no more.
I didn't tell you you can't work. I just said you can't drive.
I'm a business owner. That's how I make it work. My vehicle gets me to work, sir.
All right, dude. That's it.
I didn't ask for an apology. I said, how do I get to work? That's how I make it work. My vehicle gets me to work, sir.
All right, dude. That's it.
I didn't ask for an apology. I said, how do I get to work? How am I going to get to work?
You can find someone else to take you.
I moved pool tables. Can't put a pool table in the back of an Uber. I'm just asking. So I'm trying to. I'm
You're gonna have to hire
just trying to continue to be a citizen and keep my job. Right. That's all. That's all. That seems a bit much, right? For somebody, I understand.
This is the judge's wake-up call moment. She's painting a vivid picture of what could have happened, and she's not exaggerating. One wrong move at 135 miles per hour. It's not jail time you need to worry about. It's a...
Judge, I'm just trying to make my plea. You know, I have to work. That's all. I'm just trying to continue my job. That's it.
Let me tell you something, Mr.
Just trying to continue my job, man. That's it.
The ability to drive is a privilege.
I understand. So I've been in the system long enough to understand what your job is. I just have a job, sir. That's. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? I made a mistake. I just I got a job, right? Just, I got people that work for me. I got people that depend on me. I make mistakes. I apologize. And,
I want to see that you truly mean it. I don't know that now. I don't know it.
fine.
For right now, I'm taking you away, your privilege to drive, because I want you to appreciate the awesome privilege it is to drive at 135 miles an hour on the road in what, a 65?
Let's assume so, Your Honor, it was a freeway.
You're going double.
Okay, pause.
I'm going to have you sign this affidavit with me. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. When you come back, we can talk about it. But I want you to really appreciate it. And I want you to show me how much you appreciate it. But until that point, if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? I'm going to have you sign the affidavit. We'll have you sign a receipt and we'll get you out of here. We'll see you in a month.
Morning again.
This part hits hard. The defendant just casually drops that he's out of work. But watch how quickly the judge shuts down any sympathy play. She's laser focused on accountability, not excuses.
Your name, sir? All right, so have you had a chance to review this file?
I did.
What is he going to do? Is he going to plead or does he want a hearing on these 6 counts?
No. He will plead.
So, sir, if you plead guilty here, I want you to understand your probation could be revoked and you could be incarcerated for 93 days. Do you understand that? And did he sign an advice of rights form today?
He did not, Your Honor.
You're presumed innocent. They have to prove you guilty by a preponderance of the evidence. You have the right to question their witnesses, to bring in your own, to use the subpoena powers of the court to bring in those witnesses, to testify or remain silent. If you remain silent, that silence would not be held against you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you plead guilty, you're waiving your right to a contested hearing, you're waiving your right to a hearing of any kind, and you could be incarcerated, as I said. And again, you have 2 priors, technical violations, it says. But given that you have absconded, you could get the maximum. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Any questions before we go on?
Your Honor, best with Judge Hudson.
Okay. Any questions before we go on?
He's back on Zoom. Amazing. He's in custody.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, as to count 1 that you failed to attend your scheduled visit on October 13 with probation of 22, how do you plead?
Yes.
You failed to attend your probation visit on that date.
Yes.
Count 2 that you failed to attend the court work program on October 5 of 22, how do you plead?
Yes.
You failed to attend on that day.
I showed up, but I had on shorts and I forgot that you could wear shorts and set me on.
Count 3 that you failed to provide proof for completing 4 hours of community service by October 10 of 22, how do you plead?
Yes.
Did you fail to do that?
That's community service. On my last day, I had community service, but I forgot I couldn't wear shorts.
You did 3 days.
Community service is different than court work. You would have set up your own community service.
I don't think, we were talking about this, Your Honor. I don't think he understands the court work program.
It's not considered community service. It is community service, but it's supervised court work.
All right.
So I ordered you to do 4 more hours of community service at some point, and I'm just asking you, did you complete the 4 hours of community service by the due date of October the 10th of 22?
He completed 3 days.
No, that's a court work program.
Oh, you're talking about the court.
I sanctioned him at one point in August 31 of 22 in order to complete 4 hours of community service by October 10. So the charge is that he failed to provide proof of completing that by October 10. So how do you plead to that?
Really?
The community.
Why are you confused?
Yeah, not guilty.
Did you fail to provide proof of completing community service hours that you were due to do?
I had 4 more left. I had 4 more hours left. The day set me on. That was my last day of community service.
That's the court work program. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you that. When we're supervising, when you're showing up at this building, that's the court work program. That's where it's a little bit more stringent. I allowed you to do community service where you could go fold clothes somewhere, the Salvation Army or do something else by October 10th.
I came here.
He did not, that's the core work program. Are you listening to me?
That's where they sent me home from.
But he said that they sent you home from the court work program.
That's not community service.
Oh, my bad.
You could have done community service at Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, the church, Habitat for Humanity, and Animal Shelter. You could have done it wherever you wanted. You could have done it.
Oh, I had it confused, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna ask you again, did you fail to complete that by October 10 of 22? You didn't do it, right?
Right.
Count 5. That you failed to refrain from consuming alcohol, testing positive on September 13 of 22 for both alcohol, that's on count 5. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
And count 6, marijuana. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
Anybody, did you consume alcohol and drugs, marijuana within the 3 days before September 13?
Yeah.
Anybody force you to plead guilty?
No.
Pleas are accepted to those charges. You got 6 counts. I can't wait to hear what the explanation is. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like it because it's gonna be he didn't have a ride or he forgot or.
Your Honor, I would just very much appreciate it if you at least let me explain some of it.
Oh, no, you explain all of it. Take your time, have at it.
First of all, that was in 2022. This is 2025. Mr. Lucky's in a completely different position in terms of where he is with this case. He wants to take care of all of it and meet his responsibilities under this case. Him not showing up, he moved to Ohio.
Did he get permission to leave the state?
I had nowhere to live in Detroit.
I'm just asking you, did you get permission from anybody to leave the state?
Oh, you said I can go to work, 'cause I work now. You said I can,
I didn't say you could live there though, did I?
No, I ain't had no choice.
I said you can leave state for employment, but go ahead. So he violated probation in that aspect too, but go ahead.
Okay, so, he was in Ohio, and because this is based on the OWI charge, his license was revoked, so he didn't have transportation up here. Now he does,
How many drunk drivings does he have?
just one.
They didn't revoke him there.
Oh, no.
This is-
Never had. No, I was trying to get my license when I ended up catching I was just paying my tickets off. When I ended up catching tickets last time.
Okay, go ahead, counsel.
Okay, so anyway, now he has access to transportation with his brother. Secondly, Your Honor, again, he moved to Ohio,
Whereabouts in Ohio?
Toledo.
This was a second drunk driving, right? Or at least he didn't appear to see. He had one in 15.
I thought this was the only one, Your Honor.
Well, maybe he still has that warrant out. Let me double check out of Dearborn.
Just speeding. That's a one-way ticket to
I had no
jail.
warrant.
And in heavy traffic. That's borderline suicidal. The judge isn't gonna go okay, pause. 125 miles per hour. That's not just speeding.
Go ahead, counsel, I'm listening to you.
Okay. So anyway, because he was in Ohio, that prevented him from coming. He didn't have to,
Where's he live in Ohio?
this is what I have to offer.
Where's he live in Ohio?
He's living in Toledo.
Come on.
So now through his brother, which he didn't have that transportation before, he has transportation now. He can get to his scheduled appointments. He can get to whatever programs or whatever he has to do. He's also able to pay all of his probation fees. And I would just ask Your Honor to consider all that. Like I said, he's not the same guy that he was in 2000.
Well, you're not giving me any reason to tell me he's changed, other than the fact that he moved to Ohio and couldn't get here from Toledo, which is
Well,
only
what
4.
has changed, I should say, not necessarily I can't speak about him, but what has changed is that he has he has access to someone.
Where does he work?
He was working at the Chrysler plant and then got laid off.
When did he get, what Chrysler plant?
Toledo.
When did you get laid off?
January.
How long are you working there?
2017.
Did somebody call, Beth on this?
Not sure, talk to Judge, I'll call her now.
Well, he did say she was in Judge Hesson's. I don't know if she still is. Can you tell by looking out there, Lisa, is she still in Judge Hesson's?
I can't be her courtroom judge.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So anyway, for all of these reasons, I'm asking you to give my client another chance.
I just don't,
And
I'm telling you the way, to me, there's no stay of the probationary period. He's been gone for 3 years. I really, as far as I'm concerned, I lose jurisdiction after today. I mean, there's nothing I can do when they do this. That's why it's upsetting.
I understand.
He doesn't show up here. We know what happened. He tested positive. He got scared or unconcerned. He didn't do anything. 2 violations within the first 3 months.
But that's exactly what happened here. He got scared. When he moved to Ohio and wasn't making his probation meetings, he felt that he was already in violation.
Well, yeah.
And I know the thing to do, or what the thing you should have done, was to call someone to tell them what the situation was. But we deal with real people. And,
Do you have kids? You married?
I got 3 kids, and that was a whole accident.
Where were your kids at?
At school, right now.
No. Where were they in 22, 23?
At 22, we was all together. We was all living together after the accident.
Slow down.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
I got a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
They all moved to Toledo with you?
No.
They stayed in Detroit?
Yes. Me and my lady split up after the accident in one car. It really took
he had an accident, Your Honor.
the ticket. That's what I'm talking about. It really messed up my whole life. I had the phone, my old number with all your contacts in it. She broke the phone. I couldn't get in the iCloud.
Just to put some context to this, on this OWI charge, there was a truck that hit him. And it kind of dominoed from there. And that's what he's trying to explain.
How old are you?
40.
You got laid off from Chrysler, Jeep plant in what month? January?
Yeah, yes.
Is that a permanent layoff or is that?
Yeah, because I didn't take the full time. I had turned it down and I got pushed it back to the back. So now I'm on like what do they call it, TS or like a train, like a TPT. So I might, they might call me for the summer. I might.
Oh, you're a temporary employee?
Yeah.
Who do you live with now?
Homegirl.
Pardon?
One of my friends. She's my friend. I would say my girlfriend.
Well, that's all right. I don't need to get detailed. I just wondered where you're traveling about. You left your brothers then, right?
Do I leave my brothers?
Yeah.
No, I don't stay with my brother. He just.
I thought you said it did, maybe I misunderstood you. Did you tell me or did you not tell me that you went to live with your brother in Ohio? Did I misunderstand?
I stayed with my uncle in Ohio. When I left my family in 2022, I went to Ohio and stayed out there in Ohio. Was going to work
With who?
out there.
With who?
My homegirl.
Your girlfriend?
I said my girlfriend.
Ms. Wild's your name?
Elizabeth Bosch Fisher.
Can you give me any good news on this one?
I
I think the only bit of good news that I can give to you on Mr. Lucky is he did complete his victims impact panel. Other than that, unfortunately, it's kind of complete abscondment after he had missed his appointment October 13. And even the 4 hours of community service was part of penalty from a prior violation. He didn't even complete those 4 hours of community service. I wish I had better things to say, but he just basically up and left and we didn't hear from him again.
And like I said, Your Honor, that's because of transportation issue. Is because he should have called. He should have let the probation officer know. However, he didn't do that. And he's in this situation now.
I mean, he just ignored us and ignored us here. I'm looking at this. It's like, seriously?
But you know what people do, Your Honor?
Hey,
When
listen,
they think they're facing penalties in jail, thinking that they're
I get it. I get it. I just still, yeah, I get it.
I can appreciate transportation issues, but he was reporting by Zoom, Your Honor.
And not only that, he didn't live in Cleveland, he's living in Toledo. I mean, if I'm gonna say somebody, that I'm gonna excuse somebody for not having transportation that lives in Toledo, I've gotta pretty much excuse anybody who lives north of, I don't know, north of 12-mile road practically. And then I'm just not prepared to do. He could have gotten here. He knows he could have gotten here.
He didn't have anybody that helped him at that time. He's got his brother to help him now. And that was the problem. It was a problem getting here. It was a problem with having someone bring him here. And who he had is his brother.
You know, you're on the same page. I mean, I remember a justice writing something about, well, people don't have to get rides. Let's do it on Zoom. All I know, I don't say this very often. All I know is that anybody that comes here in this courthouse, there's only one of three things. They either live here, they drove here to commit the crime, right? Or they got a ride here. That's the only three things anybody could possibly come in front of me. They either here, they here, or they got a ride here. So I don't know what's so difficult about asking people that got a ride or drove here to get a ride here to pay the piper.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be understanding. I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of this. I never have been, and I never will be. I will do the best I can for him. How much do you have here, Lisa, in fees does he owe?
$884.
He will be able to pay that right away, Judge.
Does he have any credit coming other than
The only credit I can say is we had scheduled for the work program. He was a no-show a few times. He wore shorts once, but he did complete at least one day of the work program, which was August 3rd. So I would say he's got a day of credit for that, Your Honor.
That's not just speeding. That's a one-way ticket to jail in most jurisdictions. And in heavy traffic, that's borderline suicide. The judge isn't going to go okay, pause. 125 miles per hour. That's not just speeding. It's a one-way ticket to jail in most jurisdictions. And in heavy traffic, that's borderline suicidal. The judge isn't going to go okay, pause. 125 miles per hour. That's not just
doesn't look, it looks like he had a warrant out of someplace in 2015 out of the Dearborn District Row WI.
Let's break this down. Driving isn't a right. It's a privilege. And when you go twice the legal speed limit in traffic, you basically throw that privilege in the trash. The judge wants remorse, not a pity party. Next.
I don't see any disposition on that, either on his traffic record or on the criminal history. I don't know what happened with that.
Your Honor, I can't say this for certain, but I don't believe he was charged. This is because it's my understanding this is his only charge.
Well, they issued a warrant for him on an OWI at one point, failure to appear in court back in 15.
I do have the screening assessment obviously done at the time of his plea, Your Honor, 2012. out of 19th, he had failure to appear on drug and license suspended. 2015 out of Dearborn 19th for OWI and drug and license suspended. He also had 2019 out of 34th, but those were for civil infractions of speeding and no.
I'm not gonna take that into account. I was just mentioning that. If there's no evidence of a conviction, there's no evidence of a conviction. Probation is revoked. You're to pay costs of $950 and serve 93 days jail, credit 2, for a total of 91. If you pay costs of $950, I will suspend 72 of the 91, requiring you to only serve 19. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal. So you pay that money now, you'll be out in 19 days with credit for time served. No.
I got one last issue, John. You're gonna be sick of me. But there was a court date scheduled for May, and he didn't get a notice and I didn't get a notice. I spoke to the clerk, Lisa. I submitted an appearance by internet. She said, no, the court never got an appearance from me. And the notice was sent to Mr. Lucky's former address on Braille in Detroit, and not to his current address.
Well, how are we supposed to know?
I don't know. I did my part.
The judge isn't gonna go.
Well,
At least I thought.
but we don't have an appearance in the file until the one you filed on May the 15th.
Exactly, that's what she told me. And I don't know how that happened.
And in heavy traffic.
So, I don't
Because
know.
I didn't, the appearance I sent in, I didn't send it in to Lisa. I didn't write down who or
What are you asking?
That's a one-way.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're asking me.
Oh, if you would reinstate the bond. And that was,
There was a third-party bond posted, Judge.
Yeah.
and that would help pay.
I'm not gonna, I'll tell you what, if you want to, if you want to address this when he's out of jail, I don't have a problem. I don't even have a problem with you addressing it by Zoom. But there's too much for me to digest here. When people don't show up, I'm not going to apologize. I don't like it. And you play,
Can we get the bond? Can we at least apply?
I heard what you said. I understand, but he hasn't shown up for 3 years. I mean, what is this?
Okay.
What bond are you talking about? The one
Judge, I can explain it. He posted a bond, so I set a court date. He did not appear because we had an old address. She states that she filed an appearance, but I never received it.
Is this a bond that he posted online on or about April 22nd?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So then when I heard from her questioning why she never got a date, she sent me a new appearance and I reset the court date.
I don't have a problem with reinstating the bond, but he's going to have to pay whatever else he paid because that's in the name of a third-party poster. So the third-party poster can come in here. We'll refund the money to the third-party poster.
Okay.
Okay? I'll do that. I can see that at least he did that.
Thank you.
But he's going to have to pay his money today without the bond. And then he'll just have to serve those days that I gave him, which is after he pays the bond 19. Or pays the fines and costs 19.
All right.
Stop doing this. Good luck. Have a seat. Thank you. People against.
Mr. Luck.
Tangeray.
Thank you,
I
sir.
want, thank you very